This semester in METX, the Computer Animation and Game Development, Journalism and Public Relations, and Media Arts Design and Technology departments collaborated to create a variety of promotional materials for the Big Chico Creek Ecological Reserve. In order to find a way to best represent BSER, we had to get to know them. And after our initial secondary research on the client, we met with key organizational representatives and went to visit the reserve ourselves. Here we gained important information on how the client operates and how they wanted to present themselves to their audiences. And once we had a good idea of what the client wanted to highlight, we broke off into teams and got to work.
For Matthe's side of the project, we began working on a promotional video for BSER to help give people an idea of what the organization does, as well as highlight some more recent programs the client wanted to showcase. We began collecting a lot of material fairly early on. We started filming interviews with key staff members to help start to flesh out what kind of story we wanted to tell and how we wanted to tell it. Once we had our interviews down, we started preparing a draft of the script and a storyboard that we could pitch to the client. After the initial pitch, we started reaching out to additional people who could provide a wider view of BSER, primarily the relationships with and services it provides in the broader community. While reaching out and collecting additional interviews, we started filming B-roll and fleshing out more specific elements of the script, including motion graphics and the integration of new content. Once we collected all of our footage, we began matching our interviews and B-roll to the script before editing our content together to get our final product.
Before we can get down to work on creating an AR application for BCCR, we first had to come up with what kind of application we were going to create. Collaborating with JMPR students, we divided into two groups to come up with and pitch an AR concept to the client. Ultimately, the client decided on an AR application that could be used in conjunction with BCCR's cultural tour. With our concept in place, we began executing the idea. The first challenge that needed to be addressed was allowing the app to utilize geolocation. Since the team had very little experience with geolocation, we had to research and experiment with the feature, troubleshooting the program until we were able to successfully get the app to recognize accurate location data. We then began working on content integration and had to determine what kind of content would be included and how we would display it. Once the content and delivery system were ready to go, we wrapped up by designing and choosing the remaining visual elements necessary for the application.
While the MadTech and CAGD teams undertook their projects, the JMPR team started working on not only telling the story of BSER, but telling our own story as well. The JMPR team had a number of projects to tackle over the semester, but first we had to deal with some copyright issues regarding the app's content. A lot of the materials that were sent to us were not free to use at our leisure, and we needed permission that we didn't have. But once we were able to weed out the unusable content and reorganize, we got back to work on the website. Utilizing our skills in design work, website coding, and of course writing, we broke off into teams to bring our visions to light. Here we created web content centered around portraying each department's journey during the semester. We designed social media content that was pushed out on steady schedules to help publicize and showcase the collaboration between METX and BSER. In all, we worked very closely with the other departments, organizing team photos and biographies, while collecting information and adapting it to represent their work and final products. To wrap up the semester, we collected all of the content created by our team and published the website, showcasing the hard work completed by the students in METX.